Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nelson Roque, and I'm one of the trainers at the Miami Association of Realtors. Today, we're going to be introducing a program called IMAPP, one of the best programs I've ever seen in tax roll information. You're going to find out the IMAPP program is divided into three parts. There is a tab called Tax Search. There is another tab called MLS search, and this is where you can actually find listings that have just expired, but they guarantee you nobody has touched those properties yet, which is a fantastic feature. And you also have another tab called Foreclosures. Here you can find the latest list pending properties. Another thing about the IMAPP program, when is information put into the program? Anytime you want to know when was the latest information into the program, that information of your screen is where you're going to see the word tax data ability. That place will also show you that every Friday we put new information into the IMAPP program. Anytime there is foreclosure is updated every Friday. So it's up to the moment information on this fantastic program. As I click over here with new search, I also can tell you that in the past we were able to look in Dade, Broward, in Palm Beach, but now you are able to search in the entire state. So if you can do a competitive market analysis in Miami, you can actually do it in any part of the state. On the left-hand side of the screen, this is very important to know. You should always be aware where to go to look for building, houses, shopping centers. Any type of property will be in a place called Property Use Code. Anytime you click on Property Use Code, it will give you a list of all the different types of properties that we have to work with. And this doesn't matter if you're in Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach, it will allow you to look for that word, Property Use Code. Every one of our selected fields has an other list of items for you to work with. So the system is not just limited to what you're looking at. You can click on any one of the items and everything is in alphabetical order for you to find. For me, to do something very simple, I'm going to ask the program to find me a house in a particular zip code that has 3 or 4 bedrooms. You're going to find out that the word between does not exist in the program. This is why the operator has the ability to give you equal, greater than, less than, but you will not use the word between. This is why it's very important to know about these little buttons on the left called OR. So if I go to Property Use Code and say I'm looking for a single family, I can then tell the program that I want to go to a particular zip code by finding the actual field. And I am going to put a zip code of 33012. So it gives me the ability to find out in that particular zip code instead of all Miami-Dade. Now comes the part. How do you say I went 3 or 4 bedroom? The answer is that you need to click and find the word bedroom. And as soon as you go into the alphabetical order, you are able to see that the operator is telling you greater than or equal to. This is where you have to say equal to, so it will allow you to put a 3. Now, for you to find that number 4, all you have to do is repeat the same word. And basically, you want to click right below it and look for the same word again, bedroom. So you have the same word, one on top of the other. That is when that little button will allow you, the program, to let it know that you are looking for 3 or equal to 4 bedroom. As I am doing this, you'll see that the button that you need to work with is called Start Search. This will now begin the search of any single family inside that zip code for 3 or 4 bedroom. The IMAPP program must have a limitation. What is the limitation? 5,000. You will never see 6 or 7, but it will reach up to 5,000. What is also unique about the program, as you are scrolling down looking at the 5,000, this program will always tell you if any one of the programs or any one of the properties you're looking at were touched by a realtor. As you can see, there are little flags coming out. Every time you point to one of these flags, it will provide you the information of was it sold? Was it rented? Is it available right now? Is it under contract? And at any time you click on that little flag, it will take you to the information to show you the listing, and also it will provide for you information on remarks, which will tell you if they added a new roof, if they fixed a kitchen, if they did anything to actually enhance that particular listing. That is great when you're doing a CMA. To go back to IMAPP from this particular screen, all you got hit that back arrow and it takes you back. But here's a feature that a lot of people did not know about IMAPP. Instead of you scrolling up and down looking for these particular flags, the system provides you right at the center of it a little drop down arrow where it says result not stored. But here is where you can actually tell the program, you show me all the active listings in this entire list, and that word is called Mls Status Ascending. Anytime that you find that word, it will take you back into IMAPP, and it will give you every particular property that is available. This is kind of cool because anytime that you any condo you wish, you can actually find out in that condo how many units are available to look at and to see how many people could be interested in those particular properties. And especially when you know how to use this program, I will show you how to find people who are renting anywhere with this program. Kind of neat. Remember, all you have to do is point to the flag and it will show you how much money they're asking for that. That's why the green flags are available. If you see a yellow flag, it means somebody has put a deposit to buy that particular or under contract. You see a red flag, that means that that particular property has been continually canceled out from the MLS. And it was basically canceled. Again, if you see a blue flag, that particular blue flag means that that property was either sold or rented by a realtor. And if you see an X, that property was expired from the contract. Always remember, when you say start search, you usually want to go right back to where you were, but you don't want to lose all your criteria. So a lot of people have a tendency to hit the back arrow, which is a mistake. You should look to your right-hand side, and the word you're looking for is called refine this search. That's the one that will always take you back to the original screen, but it will never erase any of the items you were working with. I am now going to erase everything and put everything back to normal. That word is called reset to default. Now, I am going to take you to another special place, which is called the MLS search. This is fantastic for people who are new, to just started in the business and you're looking for a listing. And the problem here, when you're new, not so many people know your telephone number or your name. So IMAPP created this particular program for all the new people. How would you like the program to find for you listings that have just expired, but they guarantee you nobody has touched their property, and you are able to send a letter to these people? To do that, you will notice that as soon as you get into the MLS tab, on your right-hand side of the screen, you will see 3 drop-down arrows. All you have to do is click on the first drop-down arrow, and the system will then provide you a list of items. Which one is the one that would make sense? That one is called expire, not relisted. That is the one that will guarantee you nobody has touched those particular properties. The next thing is the system has no clue what type of property you're looking for. So they give you another drop-down arrow, and it gives you a list. If you are brand new, I can hardly think you're going to go after business opportunity or commercial. So a lot of people look for something simple, like single family would be simple to work with. Condo, villa will be simple. But the problem here is that you would like two of these. And the answer is, as soon as you click on one of them, the list closes. And all you got to remember, everything to the right must be connected to something on the left. And the word you're looking for is property type. All you got to do is repeat the same word, one below the other, and the system will provide you the ability to select another type of property. Remember, every time you repeat the word, don't forget to put a little dot on the left. And now is when the system gives you another drop-down arrow where you can then go back to that list and the other one that you want. Always remember, if I want another one, all you have to do is repeat the word property type, and don't forget to put that little dot. The next item is, since the MLS is Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach, the system will give you the word city. You have now the power to go through every city that you would like to work with. And the whole idea here is that I'm going to go into Miami. And you'll notice that when I click on Miami, it will not allow you to select another one until what? You need to repeat that word on the left called city again, and the system will provide you another list where you can then select Coral Gable, Hialeah, Miami Springs. It is all up to you, but don't forget, every time you repeat that word, you got to put that little dot. So right now, this program is telling me that I am looking for expired, not relisted, that are single-family condo, villas, and townhouse in Miami. But a lot of people don't know that when you are looking for expired listing, the system will take you back quite a few years. To avoid that problem, you need to have a word called expire date. That is the one that will control time when you are looking for listing. So if I click on one of these particular items, I'm going to look for the one called expire date. And here is where the operator will give you greater than or equal to, which is exactly what you want. But on the right, you'll see a calendar. When you go into the calendar, don't go back 3 or 4 or 5 months. You want to make sure that you find these listings as quickly as possible. So if I go back 1 month, just 1 month, and click on any day, the system will now find for you listings that are not listed, that are expired, that are single, condo, villas, and townhouse in Miami. To do that, all you have to say is start search, and the system will now provide for you a whole bunch of world for you. Remember, the whole idea here, if you're new, this will be a great thing to do every weekend. Every weekend you can send out 20 or 25 letters. But I can guarantee you at the end of the month, somebody will be calling you that had no idea that you just started. As you can see, the list provided me with 323 listings. If I wanted to lower that amount, I could do it so easily. Instead of going shorter time, if I'm working, I would like to look for properties that have a value, that are basically the type of property that I'm looking for. Something with a price on it. So I can go back to where it says refine this search, and I can actually lower this by 2 means. I can use list price and tell the program, can you make sure that the properties are from $700,000 or more? The other one is number of bedroom. If you ever say, let me have the ones with 5 bedrooms, I can guarantee you any property in Dade County with 5 bedrooms, you will see a price of $700,000, $800,000, or even greater. And bedroom is so easy because it's always waiting for you on the left-hand side of the screen. If I aptly put a 5 on the right-hand side, the system no longer give you the 323. It will only give you the ones with 5 bedrooms. Here we go. We have 11. If you actually look at the price, these are very, very nice properties to send a letter to. And don't forget to send a letter is so easy because on the right-hand side of your screen, you will actually see create mailing label. As you do that, you'll notice that the system will always give you the opportunity to tell it where would you like to send the letter. Since you are not in the tax world, you are in the MLS, I would suggest that you use owner name and owner address. That would be much better than to send it to the listing at not always the owner list at the listing address. As you're looking to the system, you will see that we have a label that we have been using for almost 18 years, and that label is called the Avery 5160. You never have to select it. It will always be given to you as a default. And all you have to do is say generate labels as PDF, and the system will then provide for you all the labels in the system. Again, to go back, all I have to do is click on the top where it says Southeast Florida, and I'm able to go back again into the actual program. Once I'm back to my program over here, you're going to notice that I am going to tell you that this particular system has something kind of unique. There are moments that somebody will give you a listing. And let's say a listing is in a particular condo. Instead of you waiting for somebody to find that particular unit, why not tell the program you would like to get a list of all the people in that building who are renting right now that had no idea that you have a listing on that same complex. To do this, I'm going to click back to the tax search button. I am going to look for a place called Subdivision. Subdivision is used to either put the name of a condo or the name of a particular subdivision. But make sure you do not see the word select. Select does not allow you to type the name. It allows you to select it. And that takes a little bit of time. But if you ever click on the item, the word that you're looking for is called Subdivision Input. This is the one that will allow you to type anything you like. And again, on the right, I'm going to put in Grove Isles, and it is a beautiful complex called Grove Isles. And if I say start search, since this is a tax roll, it will give you a list of every unit in that complex. If I wanted to know how many units are available for sale in this particular complex, all you got to remember is click on the top little arrow, and they will give you a list of choices. The name never changes. Mls Status Ascending. And that's the only one you have that will provide you with all the active listings at the top of your screen, so you don't have to scroll through the entire building looking for the flags in green. So imagine how many I have available. If I start to count them over here, they will give you a number. And the exact number is I have 33 active listings right now in Grove Isle. If I had no listing whatsoever, I could send a letter to the people who are renting in that particular complex that had no idea there were 33 available units, and they never have to use their car. All they do is go with you to the elevator to show these particular properties. But if I had a listing in this complex and I wanted to push it, watch how I do this. To go back without killing yourself, don't forget the famous word is refine this search. Here, you're going to notice that the system always takes you back, but if you ever click on your selected field, look for the word owner. As soon as you find the word owner, you'll notice that there's only one that will make sense. It's called owner occupied. And immediately when you select that one, to your right-hand side of the screen, you will actually see a little drop-down arrow that will ask you a simple question. Do you want the owners living there, or do you want the owners not living there? So the correct answer would be no. Now the system takes you right back again to Grove Isle, but instead of giving you the 495 unit, you're only going to see the ones that the owners own but don't live there. So now I'm going to say start search. And this is kind of unique because it doesn't matter where you drive to, no matter what condo you want to go into, this system works this way. It will show you the possibility that you have 138 units where you can send a letter to that will have the owner not living there. But if I had a unit, let's say the unit was 1408, that is the one that I will be pushing with to create a letter to send it to people who are renting in that building. Here we go. All you say is create mailing label. When you do something like this, the system needs to know, are we sending the letter to the actual owners where they live, or are we sending it to the unit number? And that word is called occupant. Anytime you select occupant, you are sending the letter to the unit where the owners do not live there. They live in Chicago or Texas, Bahama. They live someplace else, but they do not live there. If you are sending a letter, you definitely do not want to see the name of the owner and the actual label. So the program provides for you a little box to the right that says replace first line. And as soon as you put a check mark in there, you have basically taken out the name of the actual owner from appearing in the label. So you can't leave it without something in there. So they give you a drop-down arrow that says, hey, now that you have taken out the name of the owner, what would you like to use to replace it with? And the only one that makes sense to me is this one, future homeowner. There are a lot of people that will say current resident, but this is the one that makes more sense to me. Now, again, I do not have to select a label. It will be given to me automatically. And when you say generate labels as PDF, the system will then provide you in a little sticker the actual unit number that you need to send a letter to. Again, I'm going to go back to refine this search, and the system will then take me back to the program. I'm going to clear it, and here, again, I'm going to put it back to the beginning. There are moments that people enjoy doing a farming. A farming is pretty cool. It allows you to select a particular subdivision that you want to go into, or a particular section, or maybe a zip code that you want to go to. So I'm going to take you to a place in Broward, and that place is called Hollywood Hills. So I'm going to go up and look for the word Broward County, and the actual name is called Hollywood Hills. For me to type it, I need to get rid of this select. So I'm going to click right there and look for the word input. Now, did you know that there is Hollywood Hills Section 5, Hollywood Hills Section 17, Hollywood Hills Section 29? If I did not want any of those, I just want Hollywood Hill, the operator would be very important to select, because here is where you can actually say equal. And now it will allow you to type exactly the name you're looking for. And as I'm tapping Hollywood Hills in here, you'll notice that the system will then give you the ability to see how many units there are in Hollywood Hills. So I'm going to say start search. The system now tells me that there are 3,398. I would never send 3,000 letters, but the idea behind this particular way of searching is how to find properties that have not been sold within the last 10 15 years. To do something like that, I am going to show you that you can say refine this search right here. And when you go back, this one is kind of tricky, but I hope you can follow me. By using sale date greater than or equal to, I'm going to start with a particular time period of 10/1999. I am now going to tell the program that I want to go down using sale date. I'm using sale date to start with a particular time period going up, which means greater than. Now I'm going to click right below the word sale date, and I'm going to look for the same word again. Now, here's where you don't say equal to, you say less than or equal to, and watch me put again 10/10/2010. So I have one going up and one going down. Did you know that this is the only one you don't have to put a little dot? The other ones you do, but this one, when you are working in the tax roll, there will always be a field called sale price. Since I need to know what was the price that they actually bought their home 10 or 15 years ago, you do not want to see something that says sale price $0 or sale price $10 or sale price $100. That quitclaim, probate, or clerk or sheriff deed. For me to fix that, I'm going to click right here where it says property use code, and I am going to look for sale price. And right there in sale price, do not leave it with equal to. Why don't you say greater than $500? This will now eliminate 0, the 10, and the $100. The other item, which is very important, is called market value. If you are going to look for property way back 10 or 15 years, what would be the market value now that I'm looking for? And this is where I tell everybody, why don't you click right here where it says year built and look for market value. And you can actually see that the operator is saying equal to. Don't leave it like that. It will kill you. You need to say greater than. And here you can put any amount. You could start at 300,000, 400. I'm going to start at 275,000. Anything in that particular thing. Remember, what is our goal? To look for that have not been sold within the last 10 or 15 years, but we definitely want to actually see how much money they paid for that property when they got it. Remember that we had 3,300 and some listings before. How many has he found with this information? The system will now tell me that we have now gone down to 424. Isn't that great? And if I wanted to know how much money they actually paid for this property in Hollywood Hills when they first got it, that information is at the top of the screen. You'll notice that when you click, it gives you a list of choices again. But there is one in here called Sale Price Ascending. Sale Price Ascending. Now, can you buy a house right now in Hollywood Hills for $10,000? Because that is what they did. But again, if you look at the market value, look at the market value of that particular property, 301 over here. And this is every time that you play with this particular program over here. If I needed to know if any realtor has sent a letter already to these people, all you had to do is click right at the top, and the word never changes. Mls Status Ascending will always give you the one with the little green flag. And these are the ones that you basically have lost because another realtor has beaten you to. Every time you point to any one of these green flags, it will tell you how much money they're asking for this particular property. If I wanted to send a letter to all of these people, but do not want to send a letter to the one with the green flag, this is how you do it. You take care of the green flag by getting rid of the check. As you're getting rid of the check mark over here, you're going to notice at the top of the screen, it will say commit change. And if you click on commit change over here, the system now will eliminate those particular properties from being in your mail. So if I say create mailing label, I could have sent a letter to the actual address of those people and see if they would like to talk to you about putting their home in the market, and explain to them, hey, remember when you bought your house like a used car? Can anybody buy a house right now at this moment with the amount of money you paid for it 10 or 15 years ago? And little by little, I would then start sending letters to all these people to do my farming. To go back, all I got to do is say refine this search if I wanted to go back. But at any time that you are doing a farming, it is always very good to actually save it. And people usually say, where do you save this thing so it will be there forever? Anytime that you are in this list, see it says save this search, you can actually give it a name of something like this. Again, as I'm typing Hollywood Hills, Nat Soul, 1999, and always make sure you put today's date on them. So let me put today's date over here, and then say save. As soon as you click on the word save over here, it will now give you a little box at the top that will say to you, Nelson, we're saving this forever. And you go, yep, I like to save it forever. Then somebody has to say, how do you find it? Anytime you want to find it, all you have to say is say new search. And immediately when you see new search, you can't help it. It will say to your top right, my saved searches. And all you got to do is click on the one that you saved, and it will actually find it for you. If you ever want to get rid of it, don't forget that by pointing, you will see X's. Anytime you click on that X, it will give you a message and will say, would you like me to get rid of it for you? It will do it actually for you. Again, from here, I'm going to say new search at the top. And here's something that a lot of people didn't even know that they could do. Imagine that you have a listing right now for sale. It's a single family. You are dying to push the sale of this particular property. Look how easy I can do this. The program at the bottom of the screen has a map. I'm going to take myself back again to Miami-Dade. I have a property, a single family home in Hialeah. So I'm going to go down to the bottom and notice that I don't click on the map. I actually click on the little drop down arrow that they give you to your right. Here, the system will then ask you, hey, where would you like me to take you in the map? And I'm going to say Hialeah. Immediately, the map will now open to everything in Hialeah. But Nelson knows the name and also the address and the zip code. So if I scroll up, there is a little box that not too many people are aware of that once you click there, all you got to do is put in the zip code of the property that you are trying to push for sale, which is 33012. Now that I have given in my zip code where my property is, I'm going to click anywhere in the white area, and this will then allow me to change the map from all of Hialeah to only properties inside that particular zip code. And when I click on it, the map will now change. As the map gives me, I the ability to find my house, because here is where my house is in West 50th Place. What is the game? I want to create a circle around my property to find people who are renting a house. And I can reassure you, you are renting a house around there, you're paying $2,400 up to $2,000 $1,600 just to rent a house. But watch how I push this particular property so I can sell it. On the top left, you will see a place that says create a circle. When you click on it with your left clicker, it will now allow you to go into the map, find your particular property, hold your left clicker down and don't go. Start dragging your mouse slowly and it will start to create a circle. But if you notice on the top left, there is a little box, and that box is giving you how far out you're going with that circle. What is my goal? 0.50, which is what? A half a mile. So now that I have found 0.50 at that top, I let go, and that is when the program is waiting for you at the bottom that says confirm selection. And when you click there, the system will now take you right back to where you were. But this time he's saying, all right, Nelson, you created a circle. We have no idea what you are looking inside that circle. And the answer is, I need single family. So how do I provide it? The word is always property use code. If I click, I will find the word single family. I don't want just any single family. I need to find properties that the owners do not live there. For me to do that, I'm going to click any one of these drop down arrows, and the word you're looking for always is called owner occupied. Owner occupied. And when you see that little arrow to the right hand side of the screen, always remember, you do not want the owners living there. So the correct answer always is no. Look how many single families I have the ability to send a letter to with my listings and everything and circle FHA approved, which is 3%. So now when I say start search, this over here, my friend, is called power. I have the power to send letters to people that had no idea that a few blocks from where they are renting a beautiful just come in and it's FHA approved. And by the way, when you send a letter to anybody, always tell them, maybe you're not ready yet, but did you know that I can qualify you? So you, when you are ready to make that move, you will know how much property you can actually own. Again, my phone number is, my email is, it will be my sure to help you in any way I can. But these are 98 people that you did not have before, because this particular program shows you how to find those particular properties. Again, to go back, I just click at the top where it says new search. This one over here is kind of interesting. There are moments that you the business, but they always tell you you need listings. Without listings, you cannot survive. Well, this program over here has a unique program called foreclosure. But inside the word foreclosure, you have list pendant. And people that are under list pendant have quite a few different problems. But the one I'm looking for are those people that have not paid their mortgage for 5 months. Oh, you're going to get a letter, okay, from the bank. And that letter is called the list pendant letter. For me to do that, I'm going to click right here where it says foreclosure. And I am going to take my mouse and click on any one of these because they all give you the same list. And see how I found that word, list pendant? Always when you're working with list pendant, to the right, you will see a little drop down arrow. And when you do, I hope you select yes over here. Since I do not want to do this in all of Miami-Dade because that's too much, I usually tell the client or the agent, why don't you introduce a particular zip code that you can actually work with? So I'm going to put myself zip code and put in 33012. This is where I live. I'm going to say start search. And look how many people have a problem in that particular zip code that has to do with list pendant. System is taking a little while to check, but he will come back and give me a list. For those people that are looking, again, thank you for your patience. But here it is. I got 672. When people say this, they presume, oh my God, look how much money is out there. Until you look at it a little more closely, and you're going to find out that filing date is very important to only look for the new ones. You do not want to go back 2 or 3 years. This one is from 2015. So if I wanted to really work for list pending, but I want to be there before the bank takes the property away, this is how you do it. You have to say, refine this search, and immediately the system takes you back. And again, look for the word filing date. And you'll notice that the operator is perfect, greater than. That's what you want. The calendar to your left, I can go back 2 months, 1, 2, and I'm going to start from this particular time period forward. And now I'm going to say start search. And here we are. We got about 32 of these out here. You will notice that this always tells you if the bank has taken the property. Usually what I tell people to do is to click on the parcel ID, which is like the folio number of the property. And when you do that, watch how the system opens up the property. And on your left-hand side of the screen, you will see that the current owner is Clara Inez Alvarado. And here is where I am looking. Who is the plaintiff over here, which is this bank. Chase Bank National is the one that's going after this particular property. But they have not taken that property yet. You will notice that the judgment amount is empty, the auction date is empty, so you are in a very good time to take yourself, either send a or knock on that door, but you are talking to a person that the bank is going to come anyway to take that property. But wow, wouldn't it be great to take that home and put it in the MLS as a short sale because you don't have too much time to actually wait for somebody to find it? To go back to the list, all you have to say is search result, and it takes you back to the list. Did you know that you can actually print this? And it's called View on Map. If you ever click on View on Map, watch how the system provides you with an actual map of where the properties are that the bank is going to be taken away, but they haven't done that yet. And if you look closely, every property has a little number in it, and you also notice that that number will relate to the number that you see on the list. Remember, all these properties that I'm looking at, the owner are still there. They have not particularly lost that home yet, but the bank is coming. It will never stop. Again, it's up to the individual. If you want to create mailing labels, you can actually do that, or you can actually go to that particular home and knock on the door to see if you can actually talk to them. Again, from here, I'm going to go back again to the top to where it says New Search. Also, there are moments when you are looking for foreclosures instead of list pending. So you have quite a few things that you can work with over here. Like if I am looking for something that I can put the name, like plaintiff, imagine if I put Bank of America. If I put Bank of America and say start search over here, how many property does Bank of America have under foreclosure? So you have about 4, and this is an all of the counting. Again, imagine if you put Wells Fargo or any type of name of the bank. Remember, you can always click on the parcel ID number, and it will provide you information to this. And again, here it is. This is called Bank of America. And you'll notice that up here, everything is given to you so you can actually read it right off the bat. But this is kind of cool that it allows me to do that. Again, from here, I can then take my mouse, can actually look at the property if I want to, or I can actually even do a competitive market analysis around this particular home, which is something that I'm going to be doing in a few minutes. But if any time I want to go back to the list where I was working, I can go back to search result. It will always take you back to that. If I wanted to go back and say refine this search over here, I can then exchange the name to something like this. And once I say start search, look how many I have with Wells Fargo. See that? Isn't that cool? Again, I'm going to go back again, new. And again, I'm going to go back to my tax search over here. Remember that this particular system over here has a lot of features that you can work with. And one of the features is at the bottom of the screen where you have something called Quick Start. Everybody has a particular quick start that they can actually look at. This could have been done from the beginning of the screen, but this is kind of interesting that IMAPP has gone out of their way to show you all the fields that we are working with in all the screen. And every information on it is basically written on the right-hand side of your screen. So it will show you everything about that particular field. Also, you're going to notice that this system has a lot of different mappings that we use. And some people would always love to know is, does the property need flood insurance? And I'll show you that in 1 second. But I just wanted to reassure you that there is a place at the bottom of the screen where you can actually see all this information. The other one over here is called the user guide. Anytime that you want to print a user guide, or you actually want to see their telephone number to call IMAPP, or you would like to see the list of all those flags and see the color of them and what they mean, the user guide would be the one for you. I'm going to now do a competitive market analysis. Let's say I have a client and he's calling me and he says, Nelson, we would love to talk to you about doing a competitive market analysis, or as they plainly say, I like to talk about selling my home. The first thing I ask is, what is your address? The way I teach this is the way the banks use it. Banks love using this particular program. And remember, every time a bank does a CMA on this program, they will be giving little flags on the bottom. And these little flags, if they're blue, that means they were sold by a realtor, and they love to read the remarks. And the remark is the place that will tell you brand new roof with a remodeled kitchen. So the first question was, what's your address? And the gentleman over here said to me, I live at 14920 Southwest 139 Place. Notice that I did not put place because IMAPP has a wild card to the right. There are moments that you're going to put an address like Circle Lane Road. You do not need to give it the avenue, or it will provide it for you. Also, the next question that I asked the individual is, have you touched the roof lately? Have you painted it? Have you sealed it? Have you done anything to the roof? Then I talk about the kitchen. The more you know about the property, the better suited you are to determine what the value is. When you have not done anything to a property, the bank will usually look for the average. So right now, I'm going to click here at the bottom where it says Start Search, and the system will now give me that particular address. As you can see, I have a map that provides for me a lot of information, because this is not just a map, it's a GPS system. I can click on any one of those blue flags and the system will provide for me a value of what that property sold for and what date. It's like me doing a CMA even before I actually do it, which is great. I can look around my property and see what actually sold. But for you to have my map, you have to be smart enough to be here. See where it says Custom Map Layer? There are a lot of people that do not have all those little flags. So if you ever click on Custom Map Layer, the system will now give you a list of choices. The first one is called Point Layer. If you do not have a check mark in that particular box, your map will be empty. But if you do provide a check mark, you'll see how the system will now ask you, hey, would you like me to show you the foreclosure? Would you like me to show you the active? For you to actually select it, you have to hold your control key down and then start clicking on every one of these particular items, and make sure you move your down arrow to see if there's one hidden that you were not aware of. Once you see that your map has all those particular fields, here's another one for you. Notice how my house has like a little red outline. I hate that red outline. So what I tell people, instead of having the red outline, why don't you change it to house icon? And it will provide you a little house, and that makes it more simple and easier to find the property than the little red outline. Also, after you feel you finish, don't leave it empty. Why don't you say, Hi, Custom Map Layer? And when you do that, the system will now give you the ability to see a map. Did you know that you can actually make the map bigger? And that is down here at the bottom. There is a place called Small Map. I can make it a large map. There are moments that you are working with this map, but then you go, Nelson, is there a way to move the map up, down, left, or right? Oh, yeah. It's called Pan Map. As soon as you click on that word Pan Map, watch how the system allows you to go inside the map, hold your left down, and drag it to the left. As soon as you let go, he will fill that information. So I can basically move up, down, left, or right, and the system will give me the ability to do anything I want. How do I put it back to the way it was? That word is right here, identify. As soon as you click on identify, you're right back again. Remember, this is not just a map, it's a GPS system. I can click on any property I want, and it will provide me information on that property. And if you ever click on any one of those blue flags, it will show you that it was sold by a realtor and how much and what was the date. That is important. Also, this is very important to put the map back again in the same size that before. I'm just click over here where it says large map, and I'm going to turn it into a small map. As you can see, this is how I play with the system. Anybody that does a CMA will have to do it first in the tax room, but then you need to into the MLS to actually do a CMA there, because the tax room will never give you active or pending. This is why the folio number is very important. Anytime somebody gives you a folio number, always remember the first two numbers is called your municipality. It is too huge to select. The second number, which is 50, in this case, it's called area. That is the area where the property is in the MLS. The third set of number is 22, but it's also known as section. It is a mile because there are 36 square miles to area 59. And that number, 004, it is exactly the actual number of the subdivision. By the way, what is the subdivision of this property? It's called, right here on your left, Country Walk, Section 2. So if I ever went to the MLS and I said I want to go into Area 59, Section 22004, you are really working in Country Walk, Section 2. You can see this particular IMAPP program also provides for you all the schools. It doesn't matter what listing you look at. You want to know what the schools are, it will be given to you at the bottom of the screen. You will notice that at the bottom it will say assign school, and it will show you what school that particular address will go to. The information at the top, you will notice that if you ever are looking at a property, and in this field right over here comes out in red, is because they owe taxes. And if you ever want to see how much taxes they owe, there is a little place here called County Tax Collector. It will take you to see their taxes. Again, if I wanted to do a competitive market analysis on this property, all I got to do is look for the word find comparable. As soon as you click on Find Comparable, the system will always give you a map. It will give you all the properties that sold, and to the left, it will give you the subject property. This is important. Whenever you're doing a CMA, this will then tell you what the lot size is of your home. And you will notice that this lot size is 4,400. And again, if you're working in Dade County, living area is what a bank is going to look at. This happens to be 1,734. And what does that mean? What air conditioning is covering inside that particular property? If the property would have been in Broward, they use adjusted area. As you can see over here, there is a place called projected sale price. Usually, a lot of people that are new, they call the association to have somebody explain to them why there are two sets of numbers. You don't really do that. They have already provided that information here where it says explanation of calculation. Always remember, a bank will always work with the ones in the bottom based on price per square footage. Assess value ratio are the ones at the top. It's like looking at a map where you see a whole bunch of properties, but the value of their home is right on top of the property. Usually a bank likes working with price per square footage. So here they're telling me that you have a low, a medium, and a high. And should I say the medium is like an average, you know? But if I am looking at this particular map, a bank will never, ever give you 28 or 30 comparable. This is why this is very important to know that the list of all your comparable will tell you if the property was sold by an owner or was sold by a realtor. Remember, anytime a property is sold by a realtor, you have the power to click on that blue arrow, and it will take you to the MLS. And in the MLS, I will show you remarks. It's very important. Again, this is a list of comparable. A bank will never give you this massive amount of comparable. So what people do is they come over here to a place called comparison criteria. You will notice that as soon as you do a CMA, they always take you out a mile. Usually, I like to work in the same subdivision of the property. If this would have been a condo, you definitely want to be in the same building of the condo. Usually, a lot of people like to use half a mile, but I usually show people start from the inside, get as close as you can, and then work your way out. So I'm going to say, let me have the same subdivision. Immediately, the system gives you another little box called living area. That is the one that controls your air conditioning in the house. Usually people leave it at 10%. I also tell people that you know that you can actually say ignore at the beginning. So actually show you how many properties actually sold in Country Walk, regardless of the adjusted area. And again, this number, comparison criteria, there are a lot of people that ask me, Nelson, should I leave it at 50? And the answer is up here. When your lot size is either 8 or below, of lot size, I usually change that to 20%. When the lot size is 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, I leave it at 50%. But when the lot size is kind of small, change it to 20%. Why? Because if you leave it at 50, you will find a lot of property that are 8,000 and 7,000. You cannot compare that size to your 4,000. So 20% makes a lot of sense. The property came in with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, as you can see here. So I would like to tell the program, can you show me the same number of bedroom and the same number of bathroom? You will also notice that the property has no pool, but it does have a 1-car garage. So I'm going to click over here where it says garage and say has garage, but it does not have a pool. Banks do not normally go and sold in last year. Usually banks move forward instead of backward. So when you click on this little item over here, you're going to notice that the choices here are 6 or 3 months. I'm usually going to start at 6 months. And then if I see too much, I will lower it at 3. At this particular moment, the system is waiting for me to give you an update criteria, and then I'll show you how to save those particular fields. I'm going to say update criteria, and this is what we actually got. These are the actual homes that sold within the last 6 months in Country Walk, Section 2. These are our list of comparable. If I wanted to put this list from the highest price to the lowest price, that item is to your top right. It's called overall similarity. Anytime you click there, it will ask you, hey, would you like me to give them to you from sale price, from high to low? And you can see this is what we got. We got the items at the top. This is the estimated base range. He's telling you that you are from 291. The average is 341.4, and the height is 382. Let's see how much money the bank is going to give this individual. The first thing I noticed is this one sold for $370,000. What did the owner do to sell this property for $370,000? And if you look at all the other criteria, your property is very, very similar. The lot size, everything is similar to your particular home, except what? Except that your property is how many stories? Is 1 story, while this one over here is 2 stories over here. So again, I'm going to take this particular property out of the sequence. And now comes the big moment. If I was going to look or talk to my particular client, you are between $336,400 to $382,000. Remember, you can always click on one of these little blue arrows. And as soon as you do that, it will take you to the MLS. And in the MLS, it gives you the power to actually read. And if that individual either fixed the roof or they fixed their kitchen or they did something that this individual did not, that bank is not going to give you that. The bank is going to look for averages. And if I decide to go back, this is where I hit my back arrow, and the system takes you right back again to where you were. Remember, every time you take yourself back, he will now add that one that you took out. Remember, that one is 2 stories, and your home is 1 story. So now, if I wanted to print this, I could have said, I would like to print this particular page, or you can actually email this particular property to that client by putting the recipient's email with information here at the bottom. Remember, every case is different. Not all the CMAs are the same. Some people like working at half a mile. It's up to you, but normally I show you that by starting in the actual property and working your way out, you are better suited to see what the amount is. And don't forget, if you're doing a CMA, then the full number at the top is the number that you are going to be looking at when you go into the MLS to do a particular payment. Again, folks, I would like to let you know that a CMA is not easy, but I hope you go into our classes to get more view and more understanding on how the actual program actually works. Again, I'm going to go back again to my new search over here, and it will take me right back again to this particular program. Remember, this particular item that I'm giving you over here is kind of cool when you know how to play with it. Imagine that I wanted to find out how many REOs, residential owned properties, are owned by a bank anywhere. Did you know that you can click on any one of these and you'll find it right here, REO bank owned? And when you highlight it, it will ask you yes or no. And if I say yes over here, look how many REOs I have found in Miami-Dade. Remember that this particular program works in a variety of different ways. I got 2,088, a lot of REOs out here. To go back to refine this particular search, always remember, if you're dealing with a big, gigantic play, I can narrow it down to a particular zip code, like 33012. And now you're no longer looking at all of Dade County, but how many are in that particular zip code. I got 40 right now. And if you ever want to know if any one of these particular REOs have been selected or taken by a realtor, all you had to do is click here at the top, and you can see the actual word, Mls Status Ascending, over here, and it will show me how many you have. My friends, as I said before, IMAPP is a wonderful program, but it's not a program that you can come into one class. That's why these videos are so important. We have Robert Rodriguez doing videos. We have Maggie doing videos. We got Connie and myself, because the more informed you are, the better you are at this particular program. Remember, time is money, and you don't want to waste your time. Again, folks, may I say it was a pleasure being with you. My name is Nelson Roque, and I hope you follow me in my Facebook. You follow me in a lot of these particular videos that we're going to be providing for you. And again, I want to thank all of you for being a Miami member. Thank you, gang. Bye.